Hey, and welcome back to another Voiceflow tutorial video. Today we're going to be talking about cross-platform development, which essentially means being able to build both Alexa skills and Google Actions at the same time using Voiceflow. So there's two key areas we're going to be talking about when it comes to this topic. One is the built-in platform variable, which allows you to switch between the platforms. The other is just compatibility. So being able to build a project which doesn't have to be converted, it can port to both really easily. And so let's talk about the first topic. So starting with our blank canvas here in our home block, you'll actually just notice if we go to the variables menu, we have a variable called platform. Now what the platform variable does is it actually allows you to figure out what platform the user is on when they're starting your voice app. So for example here, what we can do is we go to our if block, which is in logic, my bad, and we connect this up. We can actually, right off the start of our voice app, split the users between, okay, are they on Alexa or are they Google? And this can be a really powerful way to be able to make sure that we are fully compatible right off the bat, rather than build everything all at once. So I'll show you what this means. So on platform, we can actually go, if platform is equal to Google, then we can set the user to go down into this flow. And so we can actually create a flow specific to Google. And so we can create that and go back here, go back to our home. And now this new flow is actually specific only to users on Google. And then we could actually create another one, which would be specific to users. We go up here with the new flow. Oh, actually, you know what? We might want to unlink that flow. Let me delete this. And I'll drag a new one in. There's right there. I'll create a new flow. There we have it. So we can have one flow which is specific to Alexa development. So that might be our Alexa users, and this one is specific to Google. And so that is a really useful trick using the platform variable to be able to split your users. And if you actually hover over the platform variable, you'll see what the value of the variable is. So for example, it'll tell you whether it is Alexa or Google. And so in your if block, if you wanted to have like if platform is equal to Google, this will work because this is what the value is. Now, of course, though, you don't have to split your users off and build separately. One of the nice things about Voiceflow is you can build all at once, at least for simpler voice apps. So if we delete these, we can actually go in and we can create, let's say, an interaction block. So for most basic blocks, when you switch the toggle here, at the top, you'll see we're now in Google development. Most of the basic blocks, so things in basic, logic, and most of advanced, will work between both Alexa and Google development, and you do not have to worry about it at all. You can build as you normally would, and it will be able to be cross compatible for both platforms. However, there are some cases where, for example, the stream block is not yet supported on Voiceflow with Google. So if we open up some other tabs here, you'll see things like visuals, so display blocks, the combine block, and a couple others, especially if you go into the business tab, are not available yet on Google. And so what happens with these blocks is, so if we pull in a stream block, what happens when you are developing and you're using a block which is only supported on one platform is going to go transparent, and when it's actually working live on the project, it is going to act as though this block doesn't exist. So it's going to pass right through it. So it's something to be cognizant of and aware of when you are building your voice apps. If you plan to have a stream block, maybe you check using the platform variable if the user's on Alexa, and then you put them through the stream block. Because if they're on Google, it's going to pass right through, and users might be confused about why your voice app is acting that way. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, because the next section I want to talk about is cross compatibility when it comes to intents and slots. So we've already gone over intents and slots in a previous video, so hopefully you have a pretty good grasp of that. When you are developing for Alexa and Google, you'll see here the little icon actually changes because sometimes your intents can change. So for example, if we were to create a custom intent, or if we were to add an intent, some of these intents are specific to Amazon and some of these are specific to Google. So for example, let's say the navigate home intent is specific to Amazon. This is one of their built-in intents. And so if we switch over to Google, you'll see we get this little block error popping up, which is telling us that this block is no longer good to go. It's not compatible with both platforms. And so what we're going to want to do is then select an intent specific to Google. Now, if they don't have built-in intents, which you can see they don't, you'll actually have to build your own custom intent to manage what you normally do in Alexa. And so that's, for example, if we go back here, if we go back to Alexa development, navigate home, if we go back to Google, now we can add an intent that is the home intent. So we already have that. We can actually choose the home intent. And now we are fully cross-compatible, and you'll see there's no block errors. So you always have to make sure that for intents and slots specifically, you don't have any block errors, and that you always have your slots and your intents sort of fully realized out. Now, where things get a little bit easier is on the slots menu. When you're adding slots, both platforms do have some basic slot types, and you can see that by indicated with the logos on the slot type. However, some of them are one platform specific. So for example, if you wanted to use the day of the week slot, which is Amazon only, and then you switch to Google, you're going to see this slot type is unavailable in Google Assistant. So you're going to have to either add your own custom slot type, which will support both, or you're going to have to just make do with not using that slot type. And so that is how things are right now. And as Alexa and Google get better and better, we're going to be able to handle more cross-platform compatibility as the platforms get closer to each other. Okay, so that is the basic gist of cross-platform compatibility. Otherwise, everything is completely the same. For all these basic blocks, things are the same. It's just the blocks like interaction and intent blocks where they manage slots and intents. Those things do change. And there are, of course, some very specific features like streaming and in-skill purchases, which are specific to Alexa for right now. But as Google releases new features, we'll be sure to upload those and update those for Voiceflow. Okay, so now we can upload to Google Assistant the same as you would for Alexa, and this skill should work. Okay, so that is cross-platform compatibility. If you have any other questions, feel free to message us, as always, with the bottom right here. And I will see you in the next video where we are going to be going over APIs and using custom code in your own projects. All right, I'll see you there.